Good morning, grade 5. A warm welcome to grade 5 English class. So, hope you all are doing great today. We'll be discussing the second part of the exercise from the chapter, Why Evergreen Trees Never Lose Their Leaves. So, today we are going to discuss the punctuation exercise, then the speaking exercise, the writing exercise, and the My Word Bank exercise. So, let's get to the lessons. Now, all of you please turn to page number 11 of your textbook. You can see the punctuation exercise there. And here there is a small note given and it says about hyphens in compound adjectives. So, let's see what are compound adjectives. So, do you know the word? Have you heard the word compound? Compound means a combination of something. So, you have already learned what are adjectives. What is an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes or modifies a noun. We know noun is a naming word and a word that describes or modifies a naming word is called an adjective. For example, a dress. The word beautiful is added to it. So, it becomes beautiful dress. So, now the word beautiful describes this dress. So, beautiful is an example of an adjective. Adorable baby. The word adorable describes about the baby. And here baby is the noun. So, the word adorable, since it describes the noun baby, it is an adjective. So, we already told compound means a combination and we talked about what are adjectives. So, what could be compound adjectives? So, compound adjectives are two or more words which are joined with hyphens and which can act as an adjective. So, this combination can function as a single adjective. So, you have an adjective, then comes a hyphen, then comes adjective and that makes a compound adjective. Here you have a couple of examples. Well behaved. You see these two words well and behaved are joined with a hyphen and this combination functions as a single adjective that is called a compound adjective. Here is one more example, part-time. The two words joined with a hyphen and it functions as an adjective, a single adjective, and that is another example of a compound adjective. There is a small note given in your textbook. Please make sure you go through that note. So, once you have gone through that note, you move on to the exercise part. So, just pause this video, finish reading this note and then come back. Hope you are done with that. Now, let's move on to the exercise. There is a question, read the passage, add hyphens in the compound adjectives. So, you can see a passage is given here. You have to read this passage very carefully and then you have to find out combination of words which can function as compound adjectives. And for compound adjectives, like we told earlier, there should be a hyphen in between the words. You go through this passage, find out combinations of words which can function as a single adjective and then you can underline that and put a hyphen between the words to make it a compound adjective. So, this also you can do as an activity now. So, let's read the passage. The little bird was broken-hearted when he realized that he wouldn't be able to fly south for the winter months. He was all alone as it grew dark. The little bird shivered in the ice-cold wind. He asked the willow tree if he could stay in his branches, but the willow was mean-spirited and told him to go away. The little bird also asked the bad-tempered oak, but he wouldn't let him stay either. Then the kind-hearted spruce told him that he could stay with him for winter. So, were you able to find out any combination of words which can function as compound adjectives? Let's have a look at it once again. So, the little bird was broken-hearted. You see the words broken-hearted? That is an example of a compound adjectives. And let's continue the reading. When he realized that he wouldn't be able to fly south for the winter months. He was all alone as it grew dark. The little bird shivered in the ice-cold wind. So ice cold is an example of a compound adjective. So you can underline that and make sure you insert a hyphen in between. Let's continue reading. He asked the willow tree if he could stay in his branches, but the willow was mean-spirited. So there you have one more example of a compound adjective. Make sure you insert the hyphen and underline the words. And told him to go away. The little bird also asked the bad-tempered. So that combination is an example of a compound adjective. Let's underline that word and insert a hyphen between bad and tempered. Oak, but he wouldn't let him stay either. Then the kind-hearted. So there you have one more compound adjective. Spruce told him that he could stay with him for winter. So I hope you are clear with what are compound adjectives now. Now let's move on to the next section of exercise. This is the speaking exercise. Let me read the question to you. Imagine you are frosting. The trees in the forest have come to you to complain that north wind has taken away all their leaves. Explain why you gave north wind permission to do so. Give reasons for your decision. Use this word verb to help you think about your reasons. One has been done for you. So this speaking exercise is about expressing opinions. So in this story, we saw that north wind, the son of Frost King, had blew over the trees in the forest and stripped away the leaves of the oak tree, the willow tree and the birch tree. And as the story says, this was because the pine, the juniper and the spruce were left alone because they were kind-hearted. This is how the story goes. Now here in this exercise, you are asked to think about this situation once again and what are the other possible reasons that these trees remained evergreen. Let me tell you one reason. In winter season, there is very little moisture in both the ground as well as in the air. And these trees lose most of their moisture content through their leaves. So during winter season, to minimize the loss of this moisture content, the trees shed their leaves. And these evergreen trees have got special kind of leaves to minimize the loss of this moisture content, and hence they do not have to shed their leaves. So that is one reason why evergreen trees remain green even during the different seasons. So just think of the other possible reasons, and if needed you may search it online why some trees don't shed their leaves during winter. Make sure you do this in the presence of your parents and you can write down these reasons, prepare a speech on it. Then you can deliver your speech in a voice clip and send it us through Microsoft Teams. So there is a sample answer to this question which is given in the digital content of this textbook. So if you access the digital content, you will be able to listen to a voice clip which is a sample speech for this exercise. Now shall we move on to the next section? The next section is the writing section. Let me read out the question to you. Imagine you are the little bird in the story. Write a letter to the spruce, birch and juniper trees thanking them for their kindness. So this section talks about how we can write informal letters. So what are letters? Why do we write letters? See, we write letters to our friends or family to talk to them in writing. Instead of talking them one-on-one or face-to-face, we can talk to them through letters in writing. And letters can be informal or formal. Formal letters are used for official purposes, whereas informal letters are written between friends or family. Today, in this exercise, we are going to learn how we can write an informal letter. So there is a format for informal letters. Let's see what is that format. See, an informal letter should start with writing the sender's or writer's address. And at the top left of the page, you have to write the writer's or the sender's address. And below the address, you have to write the date. And below the date, you have to write the opening salutation or the superscription. And below that, you have to write the body of the letter, which explains why you are writing that letter to that person. Now, after the body, you can conclude the letter and you have to give the subscription and after the subscription you have to write the writer's name or signature. So with the example given here in this textbook, I'll explain this once again, then it will be more clear to you. See, here in this example, you may look into your textbook. The first thing given there is the writer's address at the top left side of the page. And below the writer's address, you can see the date is given. And below that, you can see Dear Pia. So this is what is called the opening salutation. How we are addressing the other person, the person whom we are writing this letter to. Then after the salutation comes the body of the letter. So here in this letter, the body starts with, I am so excited to receive your letter, and it goes on, and the body of the letter ends with, once the tickets have been booked. So once you have concluded the body of the letter, you have to give the subscription. And that is also in the left hand side of the page. Here in this case, the subscription given is lots of love, or you can write yours lovingly or with lots of love. There are many examples. And after the subscription, you have to write the name of the sender, the writer or the sender, or you can also put the signature there. So this is the general format of writing an informal letter. So you take this sample given here as an example, and then you have to write a letter imagining that you are the little bird in this story, and you are writing this letter to thank the pine, the juniper and the spruce for their kind-heartedness through this letter. So you write this letter in your notebook as a homework, and once you have written that, you can take a picture and send this to teams. Now let's move on to the next section, My Word Bank. Here, read each word and look for its synonym from the story. Write it in the space provided. So what do you mean by a synonym? A synonym of a word or a phrase means another word or another phrase that means exactly or somewhat the same as this word. For example, this beauty, pretty are all synonyms. They mean somewhat the same thing. So similarly here, there are 5 words given. These words are taken from the story that you have learned. So you have to find synonyms for these 5 words given here. You may use a dictionary, and if needed you can use an online dictionary, but make sure your parents are present there. So this also you can do as a homework. The first word given here is broad. Can you say a word which can mean somewhat the same thing as broad? You can say wide. Wide and broad has somewhat the same meaning. So you can say wide is a synonym of the word broad. So which are the other words given here? You can see 4 more words given here, and make sure you find the suitable synonyms and write it in the space provided in the textbook. So children, we have come to the end of our first story, chapter 1, Why Evergreen Trees Never Lose Their Leaves. I hope you liked the story and you are clear with the exercise part. Make sure you submit all your works in Microsoft Teams. We will be uploading the required notes through our website. Make sure you go through them. So let me remind you once again the homeworks for the day. You have to complete the speaking, writing and My Word Bank exercise and submit it in Microsoft Teams. So children, we have come to the end of the first chapter. I hope you liked the story and you are clear with the exercise part. Make sure you submit your assignments in time through Microsoft Teams. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class with a poem. Till then, bye.